exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, I want you to go back in time. Go back in time.
Okay.
About 15 years ago. Do you remember, there were a number of different pieces of advice that I gave you.
Okay.
One pertaining to business that I said was really, really important, and you kind of blew me off and ignored me back then.
Do what now?
Yes. 15 years before it was invented, I said, you know what we should do?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not it.
Multiple streams of income.
Yes.
Do you recall that?
But did I really disagree with you or say it was stupid?
You just never did anything about it.
Oh.
And it's kind of interesting because now you've got multiple streams of income. And I know that one of the bigger ones was the DVD reselling place for the adult DVDs, that you get the check in once a month, and it's, I don't want to say bailed you out, because that it
Definitely helps out.
helps out.
Definitely.
Like you've had a collection ready, and then the money comes in,
Yeah.
you know it's coming, so you build your purchasing around when that's coming in.
Right. Yep.
So bail out's not the right word, but,
Yeah.
but you've used it for
Definitely.
something or other. What do you feel about multiple streams of income? How has it helped you? And
I mean, definitely it's helped increase sales, pay off bills easier, made life a little easier because, if one site is less stressful, let's put it that way. If one site's not doing well and performing well, and another one is, they're not all bad at the same time. They're not all good at the same time, but they're all up and down. So if one's down, I can rely on the other one to average out sales and not worry about paying the bills.
well, and I guess the other thing too is even if they are all down at the same time, it's still more venues you're getting in.
Right.
Let's just say that eBay for some reason had a server outage for a weekend. You'd be getting no money in for those 2 or 3 days at all if you were completely reliant on eBay.
Correct. Yeah.
Whereas, okay, maybe the server outage affected Amazon somewhat, but you're still getting 25% of your normal sales, and at least it's something trickling in from Amazon. And then you've got other things. You've got the storefront, you've got the laundromat, the vending over there. Website, even little things like you've got the ATM over there. Not that it makes you rich, but you get, $500, $1,000 a year, whatever, off the ATM. Just having that there.
Sure.
And it's kind of the way that I follow as well at this point. I think I counted up one day, I've got something like 16 sources of income or something. Some crazy number. Now, some of them are, I think I sold one item on Discogs last year. $6, woohoo! Yeah. But it's $6 that came in for something or other that I didn't care about, and it's sitting down there. Right. It's not really all that difficult to do. It's difficult to do at a high level. In fact, I would say as a one-man band, it's probably impossible to do at a high level on multiple sites.
Right.
Unless you absolutely found some really, really crazy little niche sites and listed a couple of items on them. You find some niche site with, 1600s art, and you list one item every month on there, and, they sell for $4,000 a piece, and you sell one every couple of months. Okay, yeah, that's great.
Sure.
But that has to be so niche. But with anything high volume type things, like you do high volume, I do high volume, there is an upper limit to the amount of things obviously you can do because there are only so many hours in a day, and that's what you bump up against.
Yeah, well, if you add to one thing, you have to take away from another unless you want to spend less time sleeping.
Right, yep. And that's where you got to kind of pick and choose. But that being said, I've said any number of times on the show that I list on Biblio, and the reason I list on Biblio is it's faster than Amazon. So I put the stuff up on there, and I don't make a lot of money off it. But again, if I make a couple $100 at the end of the year off of it, it's a couple $100 I wouldn't have otherwise have had. It was faster listing than Amazon. And a little insider tip as well, Amazon has a lot of books that are gated. I don't know if you were aware of that, Mr. Magazine, or not.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, a lot of books that are gated. I recently picked up a collection of stuff from somebody, and I was like, oh, good, these are good Amazon books. And then I went on and started trying to list them, and you cannot list this, you cannot list this, you cannot list this. Not worth listing on eBay because you're talking about, they're $7 to $10 books. I'm not going to list those on eBay. So I threw those all up on Biblio. So it's always good having that out as well. Just because otherwise what would I be doing with them? I probably
Right.
throw them in a lot and hope
Yeah.
that somebody wants them. But if they're 12 different books about across genres, why is somebody going to want them?
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely nobody's going to want them together. So it actually gives me an outlet for them that I wouldn't otherwise have.
Right.
Any other tips on?
Just broaden your horizons. Set some goals, and if you think you can handle expansion, do it slowly, gradually.
Well, and another thing that, and I know you're not, I'm certainly not a fan of it, and I know you're not a gigantic fan of it either, but it's the retail side of things too, the brick and mortar type deal.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, buying a store or running a storefront is a big nut, but what a lot of people do, they'll do things like running something in an antique booth, antique mall. You got a little thing over there, and then you've got another outlet for that. Or people do the flea markets, or they do, one show a year. They do, a giant paper show, and they save their stuff up for that. These are all alternate ways to get the stuff out because, again, there are some things that you can put it up on eBay, and you may never sell it, even on eBay. Whereas if somebody locally picks it up and sees it, they're going to say, "Wow, this is awesome." They may want to buy it. So there's a lot of different ways to sell things. I know a lot of times when I'm selling stuff on Whatnot, which is yet another for source of income, well, supposedly, I'll sit there and I will say to people, I will tell them, this is perfect for Etsy. This is perfect if you have an antique mall spot. This is absolutely perfect for it. And it's pretty funny because usually right after I say that, I get a bid because whoever was looking at it, thinking about it, oh, he's right. That would sell in that location because I happen not to be set up for an antique mall kind of deal, but I've been in enough of them to know what sells.
Even at one time you're on Whatnot, you're saying like this would be good for waste management.
Yes, right. And then Waste Management bought it because they needed just one more piece of paper on the top of their load. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's almost like you were there.
True.
No, but in all seriousness, multiple streams of income.
I thought you were going to say hit the like button.
I will say that afterwards.
Right.
Multiple streams of income are actually very, very important to have because you never know when one source may dry up. You end up on a 3-day suspension for eBay for something other that you don't know about.
Suspension,
Something other like that happens. At least you have alternatives. I know that when I got suspended for 3 days, that they then immediately revoked after I talked to them, and they realized, oh no, this was wrong. For anybody who doesn't watch the live show, check it out, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. I had listed magazines, and they had gotten cross-listed using a web interpret, which is tied into eBay, for Signal magazine, which these magazines were like a Popular Mechanics magazine from 1955 that had the word, I don't know, the next traffic signal. Well, in France, it picked it up as being a World War II German magazine because Signal had been a World War II German magazine. So their AI, the French AI, had said, "Sacre bleu," and kicked it off. That's exactly what it said. I was actually there. I heard it. But it kicked it off because of that. Well, all of a sudden, I couldn't even list. I couldn't do anything. Now, luckily, I was able to contact them and speak with them for, via Facebook, and they got me reinstated pretty quickly because it was an error. It wasn't anything that I had truly done wrong. But still, had I not been able to do that, be 3 days without listing, what am I going to do? Twiddle my thumbs?
Exactly. No.
At least at that point, I'd have other venues that I could list on if I needed to as well. So hopefully that does help you a little bit. And finally, you can hit the like button. And we will see you next video.
Take care and bye-bye.